to celebrate the 34th anniversary of Disney Toon Studios. It was originally named as Disney Movie Toons, or formerly Walt Disney Video Premieres. This was an American animation studio that directed from direct-to-direct video and occasional animated feature films. They have produced 44 films, starting from DuckTales, the movie Treasure of the Lost Lamp in 1990. The final film was Tinkerbell and the Legend of the Neverbeast. So, eventually, Disney Movie Toons' first feature production was DuckTales, Treasure of the Lost Lamp. So, eventually, this was actually based on the animation television series DuckTales. Eventually, this was the first film to be produced by Walt Disney Pictures, and in August of 1990, this had marked the first time that Disney distributed the film that was not produced by the Walt Disney Feature Animation. It was also the first Disney animated film to be produced by Walt Disney, with the Donald Duck short Dude Duck as its theatrical release. However, things took a bad turn because, sometimes people would rate this movie as in like a 4 out of 10, but I'm not too sure why they would do this. But anyways, let's get back to the video. Alright. So Disney actually began producing direct-to-video sequels, and the first of them was the Aladdin sequel, The Return of Jafar. As Aladdin was actually selected as a possible candidate for the animated TV series, before the film's release, they had many animated series with the first 3 episodes that had a multi-part story, which Disney used as a potential family movie special for Friday night before the series premiere. The story in the beginning was actually instead of a greenlit 2 direct-to-video releases. Thus, when the Return of Jafar actually hit in theaters, it was a success. The second sequel was actually Aladdin and the King of Thieves. They were both assigned to work at the Australian and Japanese animation units. Unfortunately, in 1994, Walt Disney Studios chairman Jeffrey Katzenberg had filmed its entertainment business that was split into 2. The division was actually moved towards the part of Walt Disney Television Animation and the newly created Walt Disney Television and Telecommunications under chairman Richard H. Frank. So Morrell was actually in charge with the first Aladdin DTV film when they actually launched the Disney Studio premiere. As it expanded on, they made it important for Disney, thus Disney's overseas studios. And as well as this, 3 years later, Morrell was actually promoted to be a vice president for the direct-to-direct video unit by 1997. Things went on for a term, but in 2023, there was actually a recognition for Disney Movie Toons, or you could just say Disney's video premieres, that was actually transferred to Walt Disney Television Animation, to Walt Disney Feature Animation. This was actually renamed Disney Toon Studios. Morrell actually continued to lead the division as an executive vice president. When they split up, Disney Toons and Disney Television Animation both were issuing 2 video features. Unfortunately, things did turn and take this a long way. In Disney Animation Japan, there were 2 remaining internal overseas studios that Disney Toon Studios worked with. In June of 2004, Pooh's Humpalump movie was its final DTS work. And as well as this, by March of next year, due to that, he was promoted as the president of Disney Toon. Disney announced that Disney Toons Australia would be closing in 2006 after 17 years of existence, with its final feature being Cinderella 3: A Twist in Time. As well as this, John Lasseter actually joined Disney in the purchase of Pixar in 2006. When he known to be disliking Disney Toon Studios and prequel, they were undercutting the value for the original featured films. There were falling complications for the production of Tinkerbell, and that marks the beginning of the Disney's Fairies franchise. As well as this, they wanted to do sequels that were planned, like Pinocchio, Dumbo, The Aristocats, Chicken Little, and Meet the Robinsons. But they were actually cancelled because of this. They were actually all cancelled for the production and developmental plans to be cancelled as a progress of it. The Tinkerbell animation was actually scrapped and restarted into the project that DPC had formed in the franchise holds. Projects were cancelled, which were Disney Dwarfs and Disney Princess Enchanted Tales. Fortunately, Disney Princess Enchanted Tales made it for the movie in Disney Toon Studios. However, for the Disney Dwarfs, it never made it. As well as this, in 2008, they actually had 6 Tinkerbell feature films. This actually started from Tinkerbell, Tinkerbell the Lost Treasure, Tinkerbell the Great Fairy Rescue, Secret of the Wings, The Pirate Fairy, and at last but not least, Tinkerbell the Legend of the Neverbeast. This was actually the 6th installment of the Tinkerbell film series before Disney Toon Studios had its hiatus for 3 years before it got shut down in 2018. As well as this, they actually did a sequel to Cars, which is the Planes franchises. Unfortunately, Planes 3 was supposed to be premiering in 2019, but due to story problems, the company had to be shut down. Eventually, I did like Disney Toon Studios because they create the movies, I just say, alright? And sometimes, some of the characters don't appear in the Disney animated canon because Frozen 3, Zootopia 2, and Moana 2 are actually the upcoming films, including 6 of them, which are sequels like the Three Calibros, The Rescuers Down Under, Fantasia 200,000, Winnie the Pooh, Ralph Breaks the Internet, and Frozen 2. I don't get the reason why they make Disney Classics right here, the Disney animated canon, into sequels from Disney Toon Studios. I actually don't get the reason why it was actually here. So eventually you may be wondering, why doesn't Frozen and Wreck-It Ralph appear in Disney Toon Studios? Well, they're actually a part of the Disney animated canon. They are also sometimes known as the Disney Animated Features canon. This is actually the work that is Disney theatrical animated feature film that were produced by Walt Disney Studios since Snow White in 1937. As well as this, the Tigger movie, Piglet's Big Movie, and Pooh's Hufflepuff were actually produced by Disney Toon Studios, not Walt Disney Pictures. They were all sequels with the exception of the 6 that were produced by Walt Disney Studios Animated Classics and its canon. They actually produced either by Disney Television Animation or Disney Toon Studios. It was all except for the 6 WADS sequels. Return to Neverland and The Jungle Book 2 were actually direct to video, and as well as this, they were also shown in theaters as well. I just say that Disney Toon Studios does have a lot of great movies, especially the Tinkerbell and the Planes franchises. Alright, unfortunately on June 28, 2018, the studio was shut down due to further cutbacks within Walt Disney Animation Studios. So you may be wondering about this. So what actually replaced Walt Disney Studios? We'll find out, alright? I'll just have to search this one out first, okay? So for Walt Disney Studio Toons, it was actually renamed as Walt Disney Animation Studios. As well as this, yes, Walt Disney is actually doing a lot of movies, and basically there were going to be 3 more sequels coming out this year, next year, and 2 years later. So yeah, it's going strong, unlike the Tinkerbell and Planes franchises. Yeah, I know it's been a long run because sometimes movies don't last long, and sometimes franchises don't really extend to the longest. Alright, So basically, there were actually some characters that were not featured in the Walt Disney animated canon, like Jane Darling, Lizzie Griffiths, Dr. Griffiths, or you can just say Martin Griffiths, the rest of Tinkerbell's friends, Rajan, etc. They were never produced by Walt Disney Animation Studios, as they have their own separation of Disney Toon Studios. So actually that's the end of the video right now. Yes, I know it's really sad to see Disney Toon Studios shut down, but the good news is that Disney Toon Studios movies are now premiering on Disney Plus. So you can go check it out soon, okay? Anyways guys, that's all for now, and this is me signing off.